We'll have them for you next, and it's Indy 11 in Nashville, SC. It is a top 5 battle in Tennessee tonight, and surely one of the games of the week in the USL Championship, as it's Indy 11 and Nashville SC, 2 title contenders toe-to-toe next at Nissan Stadium. It is game night for Nashville Soccer Club, and welcome to one of the most anticipated meetings of the year in the USL Championship. Rarely, if ever, has there been this much talent on the field in one match in this league, and it's ours to behold this evening on a gorgeous night in Music City for Indy 11 and Nashville SC, 2 top 5 teams colliding in just a matter of minutes. Before it all begins, let's welcome you up to our broadcast booth. John Freeman, Ronnie Woodard. It's a rematch from a game played in May in Lucas Oil Stadium in Indiana. It was a 0-0 draw. you expect tonight at Nissan Stadium?
I think we're going to have something similar. We've got two really good defenses, and one team's playing in a 3-4-3, which is Indy, and then we've got the Nashville's 4-2-3-1. But the winning detail today is going to be in the midfield. You're going to see Wynn and Belmar versus Pasher and Iozzi, and that's where the dynamic play is going to happen, and that's what's going to be the difference in the game.
We'll have the call for you today down on the field. Our Paris Lawson, who spoke with Nashville SC coach Gary Smith.
Guys, when I spoke to head coach Gary Smith before the game, I asked him if being in this different venue of Nissan Stadium will play any effect into that typical confidence that comes with that home field advantage. Here's a look at what he had to say.
Well, it's certainly going to be different today. Guys, and most of them are used to this venue. We've played here a couple of times last year. Certainly the surface, as we can see here, is in immaculate condition. And I hope that maybe one or two of the things that we have at First Tennessee Park that give us a little bit of an incentive are just overshadowed by the crowd and the magnitude of the game. So, yeah, it's a new venue, but we're going to make it home pretty quickly.
You heard Coach Smith mention the crowd there, and the fans are already filing in. The supporters are out in full force, so you can expect an electric atmosphere here tonight in Nissan Stadium. John.
Thank you very much, Paris. Only a few minutes to divide these teams from squaring up for the second time this season. The managers have submitted their lineups. We'll have them for you next, and it's Indy 11 in Nashville SC. Nissan Stadium ready to host a soccer match for the third time in 2019. Last two match days featured either the U.S. women's or men's national teams. Let's go ahead and investigate the starting lineups in this USL Top 5 collision. We'll begin with the home side. Drastic renovations from when Nashville last played at home. Forrest Lasso and Jimmy Ockford have been brought in on loan. Carlton Belmar back in the 11, but the focal point still the striker Daniel Rios in the 4-2-3-1.
If you've watched a Nashville Soccer Club game, you know the name Daniel Rios. The prolific goal scorer is in the hunt for the Golden Boot, and he has already scored 12 goals in 19 appearances this year.
Daniel Rios chasing Solomon Asante of Phoenix Rising in the Western Conference, who has 14 goals to lead the USL Golden Boot race. For the Indy 11, let's take a look at their lineup. It's a club that has a deep inventory of attacking options. Former league MVP Dane Kelly has been left on the bench. The industrious Thomas Enevoldsen starts up top. But the man we focus on, the team's premier playmaker, swift and prolific Tyler Pasher.
Keep your eye on number 23, Tyler Pasher. Not only does he have an 80% pass succession rate, but his breakaway speed and his lethal left foot have provided 8 goals for Indy so far this season.
We asked Gary Smith, the Nashville coach, about Tyler Pasher to describe the 25-year-old Canadian, and he said, quote, he's like a greyhound running.
That he is. And then that combination of that with that left foot that he has, he's just an incredibly dangerous threat every time he gets the ball.
Will be 86 degrees at kickoff. Fans have been filing into this stadium since they opened the gates 90 minutes ago. The long-anticipated rematch between Nashville and Indy 11. A 0-0 draw up at Lucas Oil Stadium in the last week of May. In fact, Nashville SC has never scored in this stadium. This is the third match that they've played at Nissan Stadium. 0-0 draws in the previous two. The man in the middle tonight, Elvis Uzmanovic, who's been delivering game-changing calls with an increased frequency in the USL Championship. A penalty kick or red card in 6 of his last 7 matches officiated in this league. One of those penalties was awarded to Nashville during its away match at Birmingham in May. They've installed light fixtures and smoke machines next to the supporters tonight. They'll have to wait to ignite all of the pyrotechnics if Nashville can get a goal against one of the most stubborn defenses in the USL. In fact, the most stubborn defense in the USL, that of the Indy 11. Daniel Rios, 12 goals this season for Nashville SC. Tied for the lead in the USL Eastern Conference. Well, for the entirety of the winter, these clubs participated in an extraordinary offseason arms race, an endless stockpiling of weapon after weapon, golden boots and golden gloves, MLS players and most valuable players. With some of that escalation, a night just like this. There are a few summer nights more pristine. There are a few USL matches with more talent and promise. Two of the most ignitable soccer clubs in the league fastened together at Nissan Stadium, and the fuse finally lit. It's Indy 11 and Nashville SC on a magnificent evening in Middle Tennessee. Both teams proudly outfitted in the colors of their city's flag. Nashville in its luminous gold, Indy in their crisp collar and button blue shirts. 4-2-3-1 tonight for Nashville SC. In that formation, because several key cogs not in the lineup tonight. Cameron Lancaster and Matt LaGrassa deemed unfit for this match despite not being in the injury report. They recovered, but they do not have their match fitness back yet. However, mainstay Derek Jones remains in that Vanderbilt Health injury report. First involvement for Kosuke Kimura. Two holding midfielders tonight are Michael Reed and Bolo Akinyoti. They've connected with the left back Taylor Washington.
And I do like what I just saw from Daniel Rios. He was pressing Newton and caused that turnover to end up at the feet of Kosuke Kimura and maintain possession for Nashville.
There's a debut in gold for Forrest Lasso, the center back for Nashville, who's paired with Jimmy Ockford tonight, who's making just his second appearance for the club. Both center backs on loan from Major League Soccer clubs. It's Ockford from the San Jose Earthquakes and Lasso coming from Cincinnati.
And that speaks volumes for Coach Smith, right? He's got 2 new center backs starting together in tandem in an important game, and that's just how much confidence he has in his team as a whole and the addition of those 2 new players to the roster.
There's Lucas Farias, 24-year-old Brazilian. Played his youth soccer at Sao Paulo, one of the top clubs in South America. Now Alan Wynn. The turn right by Ina Voldsen. Neatly done. Maloto connecting with Wynn. Has Rios and Maloto arriving to his right. He's picked out Lebo Maloto! Slammed off a defender and out for a corner. First sign of things for Nashville SC.
So here's a little bit of the combination play. You can see Alan Wynn, that great touch into the inside. Yeah, I do think that's a nice ball to Lebo Maloto, but I think that if Wynn had taken a few more touches closer to the end line, that would have been a more dangerous finish.
Nashville works extensively on scripted routines off of set pieces in practice. See if they have one here. 2 players over to take the Coca-Cola corner kick. It's flopped in by Maloto, curled in towards the near post. And Evan Newton, the goalkeeper, watches it over the crossbar. Newton, one of 4 players signed from FC Cincinnati for Indy 11. And Nashville bringing in Forrest Lasso. So 5 players that played on this field last year for FC Cincinnati either wearing blue or gold tonight. Sent towards Alioune Jahate, speedy forward, isolating Ockford. He's picked out Enevoldsen. Ayoze. Pasher. Gibson. Neville Hackshaw, formerly of the Charleston Battery. Patty Barrett, formerly of FC Cincinnati. Gibson, another FC Cincinnati player, signed over the offseason. Spaniard Ayoze back towards a streaking Pasher. First touch let him down. The Nashville SC goal kick.
But I think you saw right there that explosiveness that we alluded to in the pregame with Pasher. His ability to read service and that tight little run that he just made in behind the back line was not well tracked by Nashville, and they're going to have to be really cautious of that moving forward.
Gary Smith told us the game plan, our weekly call with the coach. He said wants his team to come out flying, disrupt Indy 11, start out with a positive attitude, and get the crowd behind his team. He also wants his team to be adaptable if Indy 11 were to take control of possession or gain the majority of attacking opportunities. He doesn't want his team to get flustered. He knows they're playing a quality squad in Indy. Wants them to persevere through any challenging moments. So far, rather even through the first 5 or so minutes at Nissan Stadium. Lasso. Washington closed down by Enevoldsen, who turns 32 years old today. If fans keep up to date with us all season long, follow our journey to Major League Soccer at NashvilleSC.com.
Do you think he'll celebrate in Nashville?
If he scores. Melodo, it's a first-time hit. Did not lack in ambition. Melodo, the 2018 Nashville SC Offensive Player of the Year, a goal or an assist in 5 of his last 7 starts. It's a robust challenge from Michael Reed. He's drawn the whistle from Elvis Uzmanovic. Uzmanovic officiating Nashville for the 5th time in just 2 years. Nashville undefeated when he is the center official. 3 wins and 1 draw for the boys in gold, with Uzmanovic in charge. It's Gibson. Kenny Walker. Mitchell Osman, the Australian. Farias. Gibson. Closed down by Melodo and extracted by Akinyoti. Win. Preserves the possession at the feet of Washington and switch the point of attack.
So in the contrasting systems that we're seeing right here, you've got Nashville with a 3 central player with Melodo, Reed, and Bolu versus 2 players in the center of the midfield with Gibson and Walker. So here's the issue. They're going to have to find a way to defend against Lebo Melodo in that midfield, or he should be the target to be able to play off of throughout the day and should have plenty of space to be able to create and make it a dangerous attack for Nashville. He can sit in that pocket right under Rios and create and combine with him.
It's a patient, expansive build-up for Nashville. It's the most stubborn team in the USL Championship. That's East and West. You look at those numbers to the right. First place in goals against is Indy 11. It's only allowed 12 goals. 10 of them have come on the road, though. A team that plays much differently at home, as most teams do, than they do on the road, where they are more vulnerable. This is some constellation of passes for Nashville, as now they mine the attacking third for opportunities. Washington. Reed. Kosuke Kimura. Melodo.
If Nashville can keep the ball moving side to side, and then they can find their break in the system right in the gap, they can find Lebo Moloto if they get their head up very quickly.
It's a heavy touch from Belmar. Ayoze trying to draw the foul against Michael Reed. Instead, ball finds its way back to Nashville's captain. Once again, the 11 sinks back into defense. Kimura. Reed prospecting. Akinyoti elects to go forward. It's an inventive idea from Moloto. And Indy has sprung the counterattack here, seeking out Jahate. It's important defending from Oxford. Flexible defending as well.
That was good defensive play because not only did he have Jahate on one side, but Pasher was closing him too. He had no option but to play that first time. And I think that's what you're looking at right now. You're looking at Indy with a really low line of defense, absorbing pressure, but then they're looking to spring Pasher and Jahate off on a quick counterattack when they can catch numbers for Nashville.
Probably two of the fastest attacking players in the league with the ball. Think about Jahate and Pasher. Pasher leads the team with 7 goals. Got a knack for scoring them late.
Well, and especially if Nashville gets caught in transition.
Here's Daniel Rios. Couldn't get the contact he craved. Still no worries for Evan Newton. Talked to Gary Smith about Daniel Rios and the qualities that he has as a player, and said, well, if you could pick a household name to relate him to that people watch on Saturday mornings, and the name he brought up was Harry Kane, world famous, world renowned striker for Tottenham Hotspur. And he said the reason why he picks Kane is, one, the size, the ability, and the finishing experience, but also his willingness to track back, defend on set pieces, hold up possession, and be a focal point of an entire team.
Well, and he's incredibly opportunistic in front of goal, right? I mean, his timing of his runs are stellar, and his finishing and just the simple placement in the back of the net. It doesn't have to be flashy for Daniel Rios. It just has to be effective.
Nashville has had the lion's share of possession. Explore the attacking third with Kimura. Send it behind Mexican striker Rios. No nonsense from Newton. Pressure continuing to build.
You know, Newton hasn't been overly comfortable with the ball at his feet so far this game. Every time that Nashville has pressed him when the ball's been played back, he's created a turnover.
Win. Rios taken away by Farias. And once again, clearance from Newton, leaving much to be desired.
That's 3. He's a little unsure with his feet. And I know he's coming back from an injury, and he's a stellar goalkeeper, and he has tremendously great qualities of net minding. However, right now, he's a little bit shaky with his feet, and hopefully Nashville will exploit that throughout the rest of the game.
Newton played 2 matches against Nashville last year for FC Cincinnati. 7 saves and 1 goal against in those 2 combined games.
Oh, he was lights out.
Intelligent defending by Oxford. Will have his hands full with Alioune Jahate. As will Kosuke Kimura, who will provide covering support. Rios, neatly done to Moloto. Into the attacking third. Intercepted by Osmond. Enevoldsen in a pocket of space. Pasher with room to roam. Akinyoti tracking to defend. Paddy Barrett was seeking Enevoldsen. Send it over the Danes' head. Well, through 13 minutes of this match, Nashville was 71% of the possession, a staggering number.
I mean, for anyone watching at home, it is obvious right now where the possession arrow is pointed. Indy seems a bit lethargic, but organized. They have numbers behind the ball. They haven't given up good opportunities on frame. Everything has been a low percentage shot from distance. And so, obviously, this is their game plan right now. Putting him into two banks to defend, to make Nashville have to move the ball laterally to create pockets of space for them to exploit.
Melodo sinking back into the defensive end of the field to amplify the attack. Belmar. Akinyoti. Nashville building triangles in the midfield. Taken back, and now Gibson springing Pasher. Jahate, he's gotten in behind Lasso. It's Jahate, save made by Pickens. Kick save on the first shot on target of the game. And just like that, Indy 11 shows how much venom they have in their counterattacks.
What a great entry ball from Pasher, and it just shows you Jahate is so quick to get in behind. He snuck in on the outside shoulder of Lazo, but Matt Pickens, the hero of Nashville, to the rescue. Fantastic foot save. Not much he could have done because he did a great job of getting that foot down, making that save, and now Nashville's going to have to defend the corner kick.
Delay is because there's a player down on the other side of the field. It's Ayoze, 33-year-old left back for Indy 11, player with world-class experience, over 50 La Liga appearances for Tenerife in the Spanish top division. Once scored against Real Madrid. The 33-year-old questioning his participation in this match, working out what looks like to be it's an ankle turn. Medical assistance, as always, provided by Vanderbilt Health. It's a Coca-Cola corner kick. Lucas Farias to take. Hurled in and met by Jimmy Ockford. Hey fans, see the latest team content on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat at our handle Nashville SC. Jahate took three Nashville players to win possession back. Alan Wynn bombarding up the field, sliced down by Pasher. Cynical challenge from Pasher, noticed by Elvis Uzmanovic in the first booking of the match.
Alan Wynn is so quick at the ball at his feet. Look, he gets in between the two defenders. Pasher comes back, and the job of the midfielder, right, to hold up play, because if Wynn gets in and gets 1 versus 1 going at Osman in that back line, it's incredibly dangerous. Professional foul, worthy of a yellow early in the match to award a card, but definitely a booking type offense.
Let's not forget Elvis Uzmanovic, the referee tonight. Penalty or red card in 6 of his last 7 matches in charge. Washington was floored contesting the header, colliding legally with Thomas Enevoldsen, and out harmlessly for a throw-in. It's the 3rd yellow card of the year for Pasher, so no danger of suspension. Here is Pasher. His connection with Jahate. Melodo. Odd numbers. Sit in the path of Rios. Have to draw Evan Newton off his line. 8 of Rios' 12 goals this season have been the team's first of the night. The reason why Indy in the top 4, not their conversion rate, not their goal scoring prowess, it's because they've built so many points on a sturdy defense. But it's quite puzzling, Ronnie. You look at all the players on this team that were signed to score goals, yet tied for 17th in the league in goal scoring. And Dane Kelly, second leading scorer all time in the USL, on the bench tonight. And Jahate, a player that they signed via tryouts, an open tryout, starts as a striker.
Except they're in the top 4 in the standings. So their defensive presence, and they're just scoring enough goals to win, right? They're not loading up the scoreboard, but they're effective in their execution of goal scoring opportunities, 1, and then 2, they're stingy defensively. They have a great organization. They have really compact. They're allowing people in pockets that aren't dangerous, and then when they do get into dangerous spaces, they're dropping and collecting that very quickly. So I can see why they are in the top 4 right now in the league, but I also agree with you. You know, do they have more dynamic attack that they can add into this mix?
Indy 11 managed by Martin Rennie, who at 44 years of age has managed 6 teams in his career, and for various reasons has never had a 3rd season at Indio. This is his 2nd campaign with the Indy 11. Guided the club to a 7th place finish last year, but aspirations much higher in 2019. Hey fans, get Nashville SC updates and alerts all year long by clicking follow on ESPN.com. 21st minute from Nissan Stadium, Nashville SC's future MLS home. This time next year, we'll have played almost a half season's worth of Major League Soccer games between these walls. Melodo with Rios to his right. Late run coming from Michael Reed. It's still Melodo towards Rios! Stirred wide. A rare miss from right on top for one of the most clinical strikers in the league. In Nashville, just about a foot away from taking the lead.
But look at Lebo Melodo, great defensive touch right there. Isolates on the tackle, lifts the ball right over it. But then it's the run of Daniel Rios. He recycles his run, he holds it, and he just opens up his hips just a bit. He had the right idea, putting the ball back where it came from, but just a little bit wide.
Was Rios, who told the media this week he just needs 1 or 2 chances for a goal. That was 1.
There aren't many that he does miss.
That would have blown this game wide open. Forced Indy to come out of what is right now 10 players defending behind the ball.
Absolutely. And if you look at some of the statistics, you see that Indy scores a lot of goals late in the game. So they sit in, they absorb pressure, they look to counter, and then they get more aggressive in the second half. But if Nashville gets on the board early and often in the first half, they're going to have to break that defensive shape and start taking more risks.
Farias. Pasher inverted now to his right. Walker. Gibson, the Knoxville native, played his high school soccer in Tennessee, won a state championship. Ayoze. Enevoldsen. Barrett. Farias once more. Jahate. Slammed off of Reed. Rebounded to Farias. Under the feet of Pasher. Adjusted by Rios. Returned by Melodo. It's Daniel Rios isolated against Osmond. Still Daniel Rios. Now Michael Reed, back for Rios! Elation, eruption, and history. Nashville Soccer Club, its first goal in Nissan Stadium. And of course it's him. We know the name, Daniel Rios.
Not only was Daniel Rios the creator, he takes on, he gets composure, raises his head, finds the feet of Michael Reed, who lays the ball back across to a first-time finish. Daniel Rios' movement off of the ball, that tight little run inside to the near post, finishing it first time after he played the ball out to Reed was absolutely phenomenal. Class act. Not only was the creator of that goal, but he was the end product of that goal too, and that was just fantastic attacking by Daniel Rios.
It's that future feeling right here, right now. A goal from an MLS player, Daniel Rios, in his future MLS home. And for Michael Reed, the captain, it is his first assist of the season.
Well, and I was just about to say, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the quality of the delivery from Michael Reed. He put it exactly into the path of Rios' run. Perfectly weighted and very effective in the way that he put that ball right there. Made it very easy for Rios to finish that ball. Well done, Captain Reed.
And Ronnie, now how does that goal warp the complexion of this game? Indy looked content to let Nashville possess the ball and try and spring counterattacks, but now down a goal. Does that change their game plan here in the near future in this first half?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to change a whole lot at this point in the game. It's not in a pressure situation yet. There's loads of time on the clock. They can stick to the game plan. They'll still could get an opportunity where they can spring someone on a counterattack as long as they remain compact defensively. I don't think we're going to see a lot of risks or changes for Indy at the very minute.
And already one of the longer possessions for Indy immediately after the Rios goal. Enevoldsen back for Pasher. Slammed off of Ockford. It was destined towards the back post. And Indy reloads with Ioze. Send it over the head of Farias. Gives the thumbs up in the direction of the sender. Here's the replay. Nearly an equalizer.
So Nashville's got to be careful with Pasher sitting in that pocket right in front of Lasso and Ockford. And that was a great defensive play by Ockford, but it came at a bit of a stressful time, right? They can avoid that if they can manage that space a little bit more effectively in dangerous areas.
Let's go down onto the pitch. Our Paris Lawson.
Well, guys, this was the game plan for Coach Smith from the start. When I talked to him earlier before the game, I asked him, considering how effective Indy is in the second half of matches with scoring, how important is it to get on the board early? And he said, if we can impose ourselves early and get the crowd into it, we have more than enough capable bodies to make plays. And you saw that in full effect with that last Rios goal.
So Ronnie, 27 minutes in. Nashville with the lead. It's a team that has been so stubborn on the defensive end. The Indy 11, just their 13th goal allowed this year over the midway point in the USL season. No matter what happens tonight, Nashville cannot catch Indy by sunrise in the standings. But this would help trim the gap. Take a look at the full USL Eastern Conference standings at halftime. Will be our halftime presented by Nissan, but still more soccer to be played here in the first half at Nissan Stadium. See what response the visitors have. Jahate, flag stays down. Matt Pickens gets the start tonight over Connor Sparrow, his 12th start of the season. He's faced Indy 11 plenty of times, mostly during his NASL days at the Tampa Bay Rowdies. In fact, this is the 13th time that Matt Pickens has faced the Indy 11. Oh, is this an own goal? It's just wide. Near disaster. And Indy in shambles in their back.
Without stating the obvious, there's definitely a disconnect between the back line of Indy and Evan Newton right now. I mean, that is just a sheer mistake. It's a mishit. Newton was coming off of his line to collect the ball, I believe, and he's caught off balance, and they're very fortunate that that didn't go into the back of the net.
Coca-Cola corner kick, 29th minute. Launched in and grabbed by Newton. Near disaster for Indy 11. And again, it's Tyler Pasher. He's found a soft spot in the defense. Covering support coming from Kosuke Kimura. Rios, the goal scorer. Floated to Belmar. And Nashville settles at the feet of Bolu Akinyoti. They bypass the midfield. Directly seek out Daniel Rios. Melodo, it's a punctual run from Washington. Reed, that's the game's lone assist. Kimura. Melodo, sprung Belmar, has Wynn and Rios inside the penalty area. It's Kimura's cross, greeted by Barrett as far as Washington. Rios swarmed right at the edge of the penalty spot. Immediately retrieved by Reed. Win. Melodo. Still Lebo Melodo. Rios back for Melodo. Important challenge from Gibson at the crucial moment, and Chikante bowled over by Jimmy Youngford. Well, fans, Major League Soccer is almost here, and season tickets are now available. Ticket packages start at just $25 a match. Payment plans are available to purchase your 2020 MLS tickets. You can visit NashvilleSC.com to do so. Nashville, one win in 10 matches versus top 10 teams this season in the USL Eastern Conference.
Gonna have to change that pretty soon.
Now, several draws in there.
Yes.
But this would be a signature win. And a long way to go to accomplish it. Enevoldsen. Enevoldsen seeking out Chikante. Snared by Matt Pickens. Thomas Enevoldsen spent most of his career in the Eredivisie, the top division of Holland. Once sold for $1.5 million. Player that has played in Europe and also internationally. Actually started a match in the 2010 World Cup for his native Denmark. So much talent on the field and also off the field tonight. Cameron Lancaster not suiting up for Nashville, and Dane Kelly on the bench, former league MVP. These are two Golden Boot winners of years past.
Oh, now that's just a silly foul by Hackshaw. Rios is going away from goal, touching away. All he has to do is stand him up and keep his patience. And now he's put himself in a situation that Nashville's going to have a set piece from within 20 yards.
It allows them to try out their newest set piece toy. It's Forrest Lasso. who has walked into the 18-yard box, 6'6". Lasso brought in on loan on Wednesday. Was able to practice with the team Thursday and Friday. That's it. That's all the acclimation he's gotten in Nashville. Thrust into the starting lineup. And now the tallest target in the box for a steering committee of 2 players, Lebo Melodo and Taylor Washington. Jimmy Ockford also in, scored in his debut, the center back on the road at Memphis just last week.
And Indy with all 11 players inside the box.
Comes in short. It was a dummy from Alan Wynn. Rios' arrival has missed times. Well, it's Tyler Pasher trying to touch by Kimura. Quality defending from the veteran from Japan. 35 years old, Kimura.
Fitness level of an 18-year-old.
10 years younger, 10 years older than the player he's defending tonight in Tyler Pasher, who's been given the liberty to switch sides. We've seen him on the right, we've seen him on the left. Now Farias cutting back on Belmar. It's Farias trying to find a shaft of light on the near post. The door closed by Matt Pickens.
I like Farias cutting and chopping to the inside, and he gets to his non-dominant foot, which is his left. He hesitates just a little. A pretty routine save for Matt Pickens. No pressure on if he spilled it right there like he did. Easy routine save. Not enough pace on it for it to do any damage.
Would have been the first goal of the year for Farias. Well, fans follow Nashville SC and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN+. Home to the USL, MLS, and more. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. Kosuke Kimura. Astute defending from Hackshaw. Indy 11 has scored in all 8 of its road matches this season. Clumsy challenge from Jahate. Now Melodo. It's Daniel Rios, who already has a goal. Still Daniel Rios laying it off. Bolu Akinyoti. A rare attempt from Akinyoti. Could not steer it on frame.
Daniel Rios holds it up just a bit, chops back, looking for a window on his right foot. Can't find one, lays it back to Bolu Akinyoti. Just gets a little bit under the ball, puts it over the top of the goal. I think he wants it back. Indy's starting to get a little fiery on the pitch. I don't know if you've noticed, but they're going after the referee after certain tackles that are occurring in the midfield. They're starting to feel as if they deserve a few more calls on the pitch right now.
Rios. Akinyoti. Staccato passing. Washington. Win. Remember, Nashville without the services of also Matt LaGrassa tonight. Injured against Louisville. Has recovered, but still needs to get his match fitness up, so therefore not selected for the 18. Belmar. It's been inverted now on this near side.
A little bit different look. You've got Wynn on his right foot. Belmar could cut back from his left onto his right.
Akinyoti. Melodo in a pocket of space. Towards Rios. And again, stirred and steered back towards the target by Patty Barron. So Nashville has inverted its wingers, Ronnie. We've noticed, you've talked about it, and I'll ask you to analyze it in just a second, but it's Tyler Pasher who's meandering his way through Nashville's lines, and Alan Wynn has hauled him down in a precarious spot. So the switching of the wings. Wynn now in the right of Nashville's formation, and Well, it's one of his first encounters with Tyler Pasher.
Well, and here's Wynn having to do the defensive work, and Pasher's just so explosive and so fast. You know, Wynn got to do a little bit better job of keeping his head in this dangerous space. However, with Pasher being as dangerous as he is, with the ball and without, sometimes you're going to have to take a risk like that to be able to hold up the play.
Alan Wynn, the lone impediment for the free kick. Nashville with all 11 players defending. Spun in, back post. Hackshaw heading it back across the frame of the goal. And punched to safety by Daniel Rios. Matt Pickens was convinced that ball had crossed the end line. Flag did stay down.
I don't know if we're going to have a replay on it, but Hackshaw did a great job of reframing that ball and pulling it back across the goal.
Take a look at the replay. The first question is, did this ball stay in play? Well, play started just a little bit late, but
that came off
a
Taylor
live
Washington.
ball in the 6-yard box, pinballing around.
Sure, here it is. There's Hackshaw playing it back across. I mean, great. And it comes off of Taylor Washington's left foot. But Hackshaw did a great job of bringing that ball back into play, framing it back across the goal, putting it into a dangerous spot. Taylor Washington in the right space. Probably not the best clearance that he would have hoped for, but clearly saved a goal-scoring opportunity. But again, an unnecessary foul wide. We saw one with Hackshaw, now we've seen one with Wynn.
One back by Belmar. Hey, soccer fans, get your official Nashville SC gear, including MLS styles, online at nashvillesc.com. Seeing a whole lot of that gear around the stadium in Nashville's future MLS home.
Not just around the stadium, I've seen it all over town. Restaurants, shopping, exercising. There is a definite Nashville Soccer Club movement going on in this town. And if you haven't joined yet, I highly recommend it. You don't want to miss this.
Boys in gold exploring the width of the pitch. Supply line denied by Farias. Possession, which was at one point over 70%, trending towards Nashville, now down to 53% for the home side. Melodo. Oh, he sent Alan Wynn down the far side. Rios awaiting the service. It's still Alan Wynn. He'll go alone! A second strike in Music City. Alan Wynn and the boys in gold back for more. The Dex imaging goal for Alan Wynn.
The quality of the ball that we didn't quite see to Alan Wynn was in the correct scene. But thank you, Alan Wynn, for taking on inside of the 18, chopping back to that left foot, finishing that ball near post. Look at this. Great isolation touch. Even a better second touch. Gets squared up to the goal, takes it off of his left foot, has Newton going to his right as far as his weight distribution, and puts it back and slots it down to Evan Newton's left side. Something I've been looking for from Alan Wynn is that take-on ability and the final product of finishing the ball, and that right there was what Alan Wynn is capable of doing every time he faces up on a defense.
It's Alan Wynn's second goal of the season. It was made possible by the inversion, switching Alan Wynn over to that far side.
The fresh look is definitely helpful. You know, was he put over there to manage Pasher because he was so dangerous, or was he over there to exploit and get after Hackshaw?
Indy trying to snatch it right back. Gibson. Ayoze. Hackshaw venturing forward. And now Pasher. Gibson. Slipped through the line. And eventually discovered by Pickens. The assist credited to Lebo Melodo. That is his 7th assist of the season.
So maybe at halftime we can highlight the quality of the ball that Lebo Melodo played into Allen Wynn. He caught the correct seam. Such a dangerous ball at the right pace that was put in behind.
Belmar blows right by Farias. Limited options. Melodo, Rios. Fully done by Hackshaw. Nashville smelling blood in the water. They want another one here while Indy is still flustered. Melodo. Hauled down, and a handball called on Melodo. Closing moments of this first half in a stadium in which Nashville had played 2 previous times and never scored. 2 massive home goals. And they'll attack towards their supporters in the second half. Rios, good hold up play. Melodo towards the pacey Carlton Belmar. At a full gallop, bearing down on Newton.
Oh, that
neatly done by
that
Newton.
was well handled by Newton. He has found his footing and his confidence a bit. That was a lovely little chipped ball right over the streaking Belmar.
Gibson with 2 minutes of added time in this first half. Farias' first time cross dealt with by Lasso. It rebounds back out to Gibson, who's gone down. Farias plays this ball. He's onside. And Kosuke Kimura clears it out for a goal kick. And now the flag comes up. A delayed hoist of it. You could tell Farias was reluctant to apply the cross. And the reason why he was offside. Aerial duel won by Hackshaw, who was nudged by Melodo. Tyler Gibson given the universal no more, signed by Elvis Uzmanovic. Just 7 combined fouls between these 2 teams. We're expecting maybe a bit more physical of a match, especially taking into account the last meeting, 0-0 draw at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. That came in late May.
On someone's wedding day, if I remember correctly.
I did have, rarely do I have more important things to do
Skipped
on a Nashville SC game day.
skipped
That was
an
one of them.
important broadcast of watching Indy play versus Nashville on the road to get married.
Priorities. Dying embers here of this first half. And there is the whistle that sends the teams to the dressing rooms. Gary Smith and his side roaring out of the gates at Nissan Stadium. A goal in the 24th minute from Daniel Rios, followed by a 42nd minute goal from Allen Wynn. Flags held high from the supporters section as we dive into our halftime, presented to you by Nissan. Teams head to the locker rooms. There is one of the goal scorers, Daniel Rios. Scored the first. Nashville SC with a 2-0 lead at halftime.
Make-A-Wish exists to grant wishes to kids with life-threatening medical conditions. Colby has a heart condition, and he's a huge soccer fan. Soccer is the thing that's getting him through.
Welcome back to Nissan Stadium. It's halftime, presented to you by Nissan. I'm Paris Lawson. It's no secret that this Nashville Soccer Club is gaining the hearts of many fans within this Nashville community. And one young Nashville Soccer Club fan got a huge surprise thanks to some Nashville Soccer Club players and the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Middle Tennessee. Take a look.
Make-A-Wish exists to grant wishes to kids with life-threatening medical conditions. Colby has a heart condition, and he's a huge soccer fan. Soccer is the thing that's getting him through treatment. It's what he talks about. It's what he lives for. And so his wish is to meet Lionel Messi. Colby's a true fan. So when we asked him if he would come and hang out with a couple of players, he said absolutely couldn't wait.
We're out here to just kind of make today special for Colby. To kind of just be there to support him through everything and help him smile today. You know, just do some small things and really make his day better.
To me, this is always the best part about being a pro. Being able to inspire, shine some light, take someone away from whatever challenges or adversity that they're going through, and just remember that life is always just a bundle of fun. Just to meet my favorite player, like just for one time, I don't even know what I would do. I'd probably clam up and freeze, and I can't wait to see his reaction because it's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing.
Now, can you tell these people what your wish is?
To meet Messi.
Have you met Messi yet?
No.
No. You're going to travel and meet Messi.
Just being here tonight has been incredible, and just watching his face and the surprise and just the love and the generosity of all the people involved with Make-A-Wish is just incredible. It just makes my heart happy to see him so happy. You know, when he was born, we were told he'd probably never get to play sports, so the fact that he's even able to continue playing at 10 years old, and now to get to meet like Nashville Soccer Club players that have been incredible tonight, and then to meet Messi is just unbelievable.
To us, he's a hero. You know, he's had to endure so much and go through so much. So, so many people say as many times as we do it, like how awesome it is for them, for the young kids. But for us, it's even more inspiring because it gives us something to continue to push for, and a more inspiration, and just it's always so humbling.
Now, Colby is in attendance tonight, and he was honored before the match as an honorary captain. And I have a feeling that he's very proud of his team's performance so far in this match. When we come back, we'll have first half stats with John and Ronnie.
We just saw the package about the Make-A-Wish Foundation in Colby, and there he is. Actually had the pleasure of meeting him before this game started. Wonderful kid. Not only a very talented soccer player, also did a little bit of play-by-play and some color analysis for us, and says that one day he wants to be sitting right where we are, broadcasting Nashville SC games. So it was a wonderful encounter. We're so happy that he could come up to our booth and be here tonight. You can see he's got quite the amount of signatures on his jersey, so he's definitely coming into contact with the players this evening as well. I'm John Freeman, joined by Ronnie Woodard. It's our halftime presented by Nissan. Nashville leading 2-0. Let's go ahead and dive into our first half stats. The possession, which was so heavily skewed towards Nashville in the opening 15 or so minutes, evens itself out by halftime. But anything really stand out to you in this set of stats other than the goals?
Yeah, the stats are not very telling. The quality of the game was telling. I thought Nashville was on the front foot for most of the half. I thought Indy started and was a little bit out of sorts, a bit lethargic. I do think that once Indy got into their final third, the connection between Pasher and Jahote was just great. And they're very dangerous. And I think that Nashville has to be very cautious not to get too complacent with the ball at their feet and get caught in transition, because it could very easily change in this rhythm.
So still 45 minutes to go in this one. This is a live table. So this is essentially, if this game were to end right now, Nashville would have 35 points. They would still be fifth in the USL Eastern Conference standings because North Carolina FC also got a victory tonight. But you would see they would move themselves within 2 points of Indy 11 and keep themselves right within striking distance of the Rowdies and New York Red Bulls too.
3 points are premium. You know, Nashville's been on the front foot the whole first half. They've been effective in the final third. They've been dynamic in the middle third. They've been tough in the defensive third. Matt Pickens came up with a huge save when it was necessary. And there really is no option. They really need to see the game out and get the 3 points and start to close that gap.
And if Nashville were to hold on, this game could serve as a launch pad for the rest of the season. Those 4 teams that you see there in the first and second weeks of August, those teams are all outside of the top 10 in the USL Eastern Conference. The table is set for Nashville SC for a big run.
They just need to run the table as they're going into August. It could be a really, really fun-filled August with lots of goals, but they're going to have to pay attention to details. You can't exhale. You can't take your foot off the gas. They're going to have to be focused on the goal, and that's 3 points game by game.
Still so much more here left at Nissan Stadium. Nashville SC leading 2-0 over Indy 11, a top 5 battle, and Nashville with the advantage at half. A gorgeous night at Nissan Stadium. It's the third time Nashville SC has played in this stadium the first time that they've scored a goal, and they get 2 in the first half to lead Indy 11 2-0 at Nissan Stadium. Welcome up to our broadcast booth. John Freeman, Ronnie Woodard. Nashville getting goals from Daniel Rios and Alan Wynn in the first half. It's a top 5 battle. Let's take a look at the highlights of how we got to this point, and Nashville having a really big advantage here at halftime. Well, Nashville had over 70% of possession in the first 15 minutes. It was Indy 11 who looked dangerous on the counterattack, Ronnie, nearly an opening goal.
Well, what a fabulous save by Matt Pickens. He's off balance. He throws that left leg out, safely saves it, and manages to make an enormous save to keep the score. Remember, the score's tied at that point. Here comes Daniel Rios, where he's the creator, and then Michael Reed delivers the perfectly weighted pass into the near post. Daniel Rios creates it, and then he finishes it by keeping his run going. Textbook combination play inside of the 18-yard box for Nashville.
It was Daniel Rios who told the media he just needs 1 or 2 chances to score a goal in this game. He had a really good look that he did not convert on just minutes before that. There's the second chance.
And there's the ball from Lebo Malota we missed earlier on the highlight. He found the seam, gets into a streaking wind down that sideline, who I loved how he cuts back onto his left foot. He finds the window, puts it into the near post, beats Newton low, keeps it low so Newton has to leave his feet. He's off balance. Textbook, fantastic finish by Alan Wynn. Something we've been waiting for the whole season is his ability to face up and take on 1-versus-1 inside of the box.
It's a Nashville party at Nissan Stadium as Alan Wynn scored his 2nd goal of the season. And Elvis Uzmanovic, we have been told, has ejected Martin Rennie, the Indy 11 head coach. And Indy 11 will be without Rennie for the rest of the evening.
Well, as I'm sure this is a developing story, we'll get more details. But to be ejected during the halftime activities had to have been some type of verbal attack on the referees. And he must have found it extremely offensive, or he would have been more patient, because they haven't had a conversation the whole first half. If you think about it, there was no interaction between Rennie and referee Elvis during the entire first half of the match. So it had to have escalated very, very quickly.
So Indy 11 also making a substitution at halftime, and it is Alioune Jahate who's been taken out, and Dane Kelly, former USL Golden Boot and League MVP back in 2017. And he is in now to try and salvage a result here on the road for the team from Indianapolis.
Speed for speed.
They immediately try and seek out Kelly. Ayose, Kenny Walker, Patty Barrett, and Farias. Nashville unchanged from the 11 that exited the pitch in the first half. So the exchange, Jahate out and Dane Kelly in. Kelly on his 5th team in 5 years. Actually brought in as a substitute for Indy 11 against Loudoun United in what was a scoreless game. Had the game-winning assist, connected with that man, Thomasina Voltson. Remember, this is an Indy team very good late in matches.
It's really important that Nashville takes care of the ball early in this second half. The last thing that they want to do is give up a goal this early into the second half of this match. They really need to manage the ball, keep the tempo as they dictate that flow, knowing that they're in total control of this match right now with a 2-0 lead.
If Indy 11 can just get themselves within striking distance, propensity to score late. 5 goals this season coming after the 80th minute. Those are game-winning goals after the 80th minute.
And that's a credit to Indy. They're persistent, they're consistent, and they find a way to win. And that is one of the qualities of a championship team.
Here's Tyler Gibson, turning right into Melodo, and now Hackshaw. Temperature hovering right around 80 degrees, a comfortable night for the players. Solid swirling breeze Ockford. Leaping denial of a service towards Dane Kelly.
You know, for as good of as a first ball that Ockford wins, the second ball one is absolutely pivotal.
Enevoldsen, well, he'll go for it himself. Never bothering Matt Pickens.
So back to the point there. The first round that Ockford won came right in. Michael Reed managed it. Nashville maintained possession. The second time Ockford won that ball, that was served in behind. He wins it first time, and Bolu Akinyoti didn't keep possession in the midfield, and it results in a goal, a look on frame for Indy. So it's as important as that first ball is of getting won by that back line, the second ball in the midfield is just as equally important, if not more important, to be able to maintain possession moving forward.
And Indy without their head coach, Martin Rennie, here for this second half, ejected at the interval. Did you notice a flashpoint? I'll ask you the answer in a second. As Reed building, Melodo finds its way to Pasher. The word we're getting was, quote, irresponsible behavior. Passed along from the official. Can't technically be red carded as a coach. You can only be ejected. Reed, nearly a touch around Barrett, would have been in on goal. Belmar, the lung-busting run from Washington to his left. It's punched out by Pasher. Walker trying to spring Kelly. And Pickens exploring the limits of the 18-yard box. Rios was returning from an offside position. Did not address the ball. Flag stays down. Farias. Connection fractured between him and Thomas Enevoldsen. Another thing to note tonight for Nashville is Lebo Melodo is sitting right on the dividing line between playing with the yellow cards and then being suspended for an extra one. One more yellow card tonight for Lebo Melodo. He will be suspended for the next match.
And how many games does he have left before he hits good behavior?
Well, he's got 3 more.
Okay.
USL, 5 yellow cards means a suspension. Wynn. Still Alan Wynn looking for his second tonight. Far-reaching save from Newton. Possession immediately reclaimed by Bolu Akinyoti. Nashville reloads at the capable and ageless feet of Kosuke Kimura. And Reed looking for an incision point. Kimura. Wins pass for Melodo. Just in front of the South African. Hey, fans, Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Well, there's the lone head coach left. Gary Smith opting for the 4-2-3-1 formation tonight, knowing he didn't have Cameron Lancaster and Matt LaGrassa available. His teams have altered between the formation you see and also a 3-5-2. Down on the sideline is our Paris Lawson. Paris, what do you have for us?
Guys, I just spoke to head strength and conditioning coach Stacey Daniels to get some of these very interesting player stats from the first half. And the interesting thing is both Alan Wynn and Daniel Rios are both within 0.2 miles per hour of each other of fastest sprints. Alan Wynn at 20.4 miles per hour and Daniel Rios at 20.2, guys.
Thank you very much, Paris. All of that data tracked via GPS, little devices on the backs of the players that track all of their movements, and then there's computers on the sideline that they use to spit out all the data, informs them for several things in developing their game plan, but most importantly tells them when they need to substitute players. So it also keeps track of accelerations and heart rate and all the necessary analytics. The coach right now for Indy 11, Juan Guerra, former player, actually played against Nashville SC last year. Now found his way to the coaching ranks, and he got a unexpected promotion tonight. So he will fill in for the remainder of the match for Martin Rennie. Rios back for Allen Wynn, bombarding his way through. Couldn't sneak it past Barrett and Osmond, the two hulking center backs. Full-blooded from Belmar results in a goal kick. There is Juan Guerra. Akinyoti, oh, he's muscled Kenny Walker off the ball. He's drawn the whistle from Elvis Uzmanovic. Ronnie, the strategy here for Nashville in this second half, defending with all 11. And Indy trying to find a way through. Very compact, resolute defending from Nashville. Gibson. Walker. Barrett. Farias. It's Osmond staring at a team picture of Nashville SC. Rios hovering around Ayoze. Is there a way through for Indy? Washington provides a brief answer. Hey fans, the USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest level. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. It is a Coca-Cola corner kick for the Indy 11, their second of the evening. One of the best servers in the USL, it's Ayoze. Taken short. Gibson with Ayoze overlapping. Gibson's cross. It's met by Barrett and pawed away by Matt Pickens. An elastic save from the goalkeeper. And he keeps Indy scoreless.
What a save by Matt Pickens.
The visitors pushing the issue. And Enevoldsen pushed off the back of Ockford. Third save for Matt Pickens tonight.
Fabulous.
Certainly his best of the evening.
Fabulous. It's a nice little ball by Gibson. Comes in, I think it's deflected a bit. What gets down to his right side, quick as can be, because that's a well-headed ball. It's hit low, it bounces right in front of Matt Pickens. He keeps his eye on the target, gets it safely away from the center of the goal, parries it safely. I mean, just a fabulous save.
Daniel Rios has clattered into Neville Hackshaw. Perhaps a stray arm. The assistant referee had a real good look at it. Elvis Uzmanovic may want to have a discussion with the AR. Daniel Rios wants to provide his account of the encounter. While Hackshaw is down, a reminder that all medical assistance provided by Vanderbilt Health. And Rios going to go into the book. For Rios, it's his fourth yellow card of the season, although he did have one erased due to good behavior. So technically, he stands with just 3. There's the stray arm from Rios.
I don't want to judge, but it looks like incidental contact to me.
Well, the argument is you are responsible for your arms.
You are, but you're also allowed to have your arms out in order for you to keep your balance. And Hackshaw turned into that collision. And I'm not saying that it wasn't a collision. Was it a cardable offense? I don't believe that was a cardable offense. I don't think there was any intention from Rios to have his elbow that high into Hackshaw.
Farias could not clear past Lasso. And Rios grappling with Barrett. Nipped at his heels as he released the pass. Lebo Moloto scouting. Timely run from Kimura. Crowded with Wynn. Akinyoti is the pivot. Washington. Now Rios. Limited options. Rios waving for more arrivals. Now it's Washington. Reed. Under the foot of Moloto. One back by Pasher. And Pasher bolting his way through the midfield. Quick distribution finding Dane Kelly. Enevoltson to his right. It's Dane Kelly.
Lovely attack by Indy. Great individual effort from Pasher. He just won that ball in transition, and he came flying out of that defensive third, chewing as much ground as he could in the center of the field, and then trying to combine. Look at that speed. Plays a great left-footed ball into Kelly. Kelly trips a bit, so it breaks the rhythm, and I actually think maybe if he had looked in a little bit tighter, he could have played a final ball into Pasher, who had continued his run. But a really nice spark from Indy on that attack.
Kelly in a foot race with Kimura, and Kelly has one out. The first time service towards Enevoltson. And there to roadblock it was Forrest Lasso. And down on the field is Nashville's Allen Wynn, who scored the second goal tonight. And the medical assistance provided by Vanderbilt Health. And rarely is there good news when a player's down, but you see the stretching indicating perhaps a cramp.
Looks like a cramp in his left calf.
So a player that we highlighted in the pregame was Tyler Pasher, one of the more spectacular players in the USL. On his sixth team, he was such a highly acclaimed youth player that he trained with Newcastle in the English Premier League. And his career has volleyed around since then, sinking all the way to the third division in Finland before moving back to the United States. Was working a construction job at one point, worked his way back into professional soccer, and is now one of the premier playmakers in this league. And at just 25 years old, such a meandering path to get here. He awaits the Coca-Cola corner kick. Downloaded by Hackshaw. Here is Pasher. Ayoze. Pasher again. Nashville players swarming Pasher. He baited Lebo Moloto into a tackle. Remember, Lebo is one yellow card away from suspension. Pocket book of Elvis Uzmanovic remains untouched after the challenge.
Thus the reaction of Lebo Moloto that had tons of remorse as soon as the whistle blew. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. I know. Looks bad, but I won't do it again.
Does set up a free kick in an opportune position for the Indy 11. It's Ayoze standing over. Exhales and delivers. Whip back post. Greeted by Belmar. Lofted back in. Lasso leaping and whiffing. Sure-footed clearance from Allen Wynn. Hey fans, Nashville SC's next home game will be on Wednesday, August 7th at First Tennessee Park against Hartford Athletic. Single game tickets available online at NashvilleSC.com.
So let's revisit Pasher for a second. Just his his pure journey to get to back where he is in the USL is just a testament to the character that he possesses. I mean, to be let down and then to build your way back in order to get on this stage one more time takes perseverance, and I think that's something that needs to be recognized in Pasher. The other thing that I think he has that he's incredibly special, he's a left-footed player that can absolutely fly. You can't teach that. You cannot teach his explosiveness. You can fine-tune it and you can improve it, but his speed is remarkable, and it is one of his true talents.
So the night is over for the Brazilian Lucas Farias. In his place, the Serbian Ilija Ilić, 28-year-old, formerly of Lou City, signed over the offseason after winning 2 USL Cups with the boys in purple. Only played in 1 match until July. A mix-up in the back here is Dane Kelly bearing down. And Matt Pickens able to claim it just in front of the outstretched boot of Kelly, who is still down and grabbing his shoulder after taking an awkward tumble. Lasso altering his path just enough to unbalance the attacker. Crash landing for Kelly.
And just to remind everyone, that's a really large frame to try to get around in Lasso.
6'6".
The Daniel Rios Patty Barrett battle has been very interesting to watch throughout the match. You know, Daniel Rios has great hold-up play, but Patty Barrett is a wide, strong body, and it's very difficult to be able to hold up a play against someone of that strength. Rios may be quicker than he is, but Patty Barrett has so much strength and he has such a wide frame to him, it's difficult to isolate him on that first touch. So what you've seen is a big physical battle that's gotten at times a bit personal between the two of them, but a lot of fun to watch.
Hey fans, join us Saturday, August 3rd for the official away match viewing party at HQ Beer Cave. Hackshaw. Ilić, his first involvement. Drawing the defensive Akinyoti, and now it's Alan Wynn. Move it down softly. And Kenny Walker motioning Nashville's midfielder to rise. Elvis Usmanovic unimpressed, but Nashville reclaims possession at the feet of Kimura. It's Alan Wynn. Oh, he's sliced right by Osman. Cuts it back. Alan Wynn has been a handful from the opening whistle. Nearly his second of the evening.
Great bent ball in from Daniel Rios down that flank. I love the first isolation touch, but then he just takes a little bit too much of a lateral preparation touch, and so his strike gets him a little bit off balance and doesn't get quite enough off of that as he had hoped.
We're going to see Nashville's first substitution of the night, and it is welcome back to Ken Tribbett. Has missed the last 6 games. Last played June 10th versus Bethlehem, a muscular injury. He was listed as questionable multiple times. Almost found his way in the game day lineup. And finally making his way back into it. And it's a smart substitution. He'll take out Lebo Moloto. Nashville doesn't need creativity leading 2-0. And they also don't need Moloto to pick up a yellow card. So while Moloto may be frustrated now, the substitution is one born out of his importance. And Ronnie, I can see your eyebrows lowered, trying to figure out what the formation is, because Nashville has brought in a center back, Ken Tribbett, but do not worry, he's also played center defensive mid during his career.
Yeah, what Nashville's done is they've preserved the safety of Lebo Moloto sitting on the yellow card violation. Say, okay, let's take our one game and let's move down. And let's go on from there. And they're solidifying their defense. So they've taken Tribbett and playing him as a 6
which is center defensive mid. But here's Daniel Rios first. ISO against Osman. Oh, it's Rios trying to find a sliver of space. Now Belmar. It's found Allen Wynn. The touch is wide. Trailing Walker. Takes it right by Walker. Squares it back in front. Stunning save from Evan Newton. How in the world did he keep that out? And Carlton Belmar is asking an identical question.
Belmar just got robbed by Newton. Absolutely fantastic save. First of all, Allen Wynn faces up and again gets in behind, takes that isolation touch, plays the ball back. Evan Newton going against his momentum, gets that hand up and just deflects it to safety over the end line. Look at this, his footwork is tremendous. He's coming across his goal. His momentum takes him one direction. He's able to change midstream and make the save.
Coca-Cola corner kick, shipped in, back post, Tribbett rising. And Newton first to it, ignites the counterattack. An overhead throw to Enevoldsen. Ayoze moving forward, dancing around the tackle of Tribbett. And progress slowed by Belmar. If you're Carlton Belmar, it's been a frustrating season from a production standpoint. 1 goal and 1 assist for a player that came in with 40 USL goals in his career at just 26 years old. He's been on the doorstep multiple times, and you wonder when he does score, will the levees break?
So let's go back and address the Tribbett substitution. So what you've now seen is Nashville went from a 4-2-3-1 into a 4-1-4-1. So you've got your same back four line. You've got Ken Tribbett sitting on top of them as that holding midfielder, or as otherwise known in the game, a number 6. And then you've got in front of him Reed and Bolu with Belmar and Wynn. So it's a 4-1-4-1 defensive shape that Nashville has shifted into with that substitution of taking Lebo off.
Pasher disconnecting with Dane Kelly. So Nashville leading 2-0 over the Indy 11. These are two teams in close proximity in the USL Eastern Conference table. Nashville came into tonight 5th. And Indy 11 in the top 3. There's a foul in the midfield. Here is your live table. This is if this result were to hold. Nashville would have 35 points. It would be 2 points behind North Carolina. Although North Carolina does have a game in hand, as does Indy 11. Gary Smith telling us he'd love to win this game. It was incredibly important that they didn't lose it. He felt like that would just create too big of a gap for Nashville to be able to catch Indy 11. But now possibilities are endless for Nashville. It's Allen Wynn. Oh, he's blown right by Osman. Allen Wynn again, lays it back in front. Tip save this time by Newton. And Carlton Belmar still cannot find the back of the net.
That was so, again, individual effort by Allen Wynn, but they are 3 versus 2 in the attacking third, and he lays a nice little ball off to Belmar. But Belmar's got to stay over that ball. If he keeps that low, that's a goal every time. By keeping it high, it allows Newton to keep his shape, keep his length, and just gently tap it over the bar.
It is relentless, though, from Allen Wynn. And in the 72nd minute, Nashville looking to pour it on in its future MLS home. Corner kick embargoed at the near post. And the last touch was Tennessean off of Daniel Rios.
So, great story at halftime. We asked the sideline Paris to ask Coach Smith what the reasoning was to move Wynn and Belmar and change them in the first half, thinking there was going to be some great reasoning as to why he did it. His simple explanation was, we just wanted to change the look up a little bit.
Could have given himself some more credit.
He could have really claimed it.
was the move that seems to have unlocked Indy 11.
Absolutely, it was brilliant, but he's so modest that he laughed, and all he said was, well, you know, it kind of worked out for us, didn't it?
There's Gary Smith, the man who was hired in April of 2017. And a substitution. The final of the night for the Indy 11, and it's Matt Watson replacing Kenny Walker. Watson, one of 7 returning players on this Indy 11 squad from last year. The player has USL, NASL, MLS, and indoor professional soccer experience. 34-year-old making his 13th appearance as a substitute. And Nashville fans will start keeping track of this. It's Watson who actually, even though he is foreign, does have a green card, and for that purpose, he counts as a domestic player. When you have teams built here in the U.S., in USL, and in MLS, there are limits of how many international players you can have. But when they have a green card, they do not count as internationals. They count as domestic players. Be ready for a whole off-season course in roster building when Nashville turns its attention to MLS. What was Gary Smith telling us? He was not looking into the future at MLS too much. He says, quote, "I'm chasing down silverware. Make no mistake this season. I want to win something."
As it should be.
One of the reasons why they've brought in Jimmy Ockford and Forrest Lasso in on loan this season. Still over 15 minutes to see out for Nashville. First half goals from Daniel Rios and Alan Wynn are the difference. It's time to vote for today's Budweiser Man of the Match. Find the poll at the official Nashville SC Twitter account at Nashville SC.
I'm ready.
Go for it, partner.
It's Alan Wynn, without a doubt. You know, he's been dynamic, he's been aggressive, he's played on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. He's been incredibly dangerous in the final third. He got on the scoreboard. He laid many opportunities off to some of his teammates to be able to put goals onto the scoreboard, but I think he's been the man of the match. Matt Pickens has had a stellar game. He has made some key saves to preserve the shutout, but I think today Alan Wynn is the difference maker.
So he has your Budweiser Man of the Match vote. Results will come in a matter of minutes once the Twitter audience makes their decision. Here's Carlton Belmar. Can he find a personal breakthrough against Indy 11? We'll have to go against the entire team to do so. No gold jerseys interested in accompanying him into the attacking third.
He was against the odds there. He looked up, he was 1 versus 4. I think Reed and Rios and Wynn were like, go on, big guy.
You can see the figure of Ropapa Mensah setting to check in. We'll do so at the next whistle. It's a flub switch from Akinyoti. Rubber limb defense from Ken Tribbett. And now Washington with open waters ahead. Turns backwards. Interesting look. Ken Tribbett, central defensive midfielder. He has played at that position sparingly in his career. He's comfortable in it. And there were questions about just Nashville has 3 excellent center backs now in Ockford and Lasso and Ken Tribbett. How would they get all 3 of them on the field? It's an interesting wrinkle from Gary Smith.
It's quite the triangle. You know, all 3 are excellent in the air. All 3 have the ability to play a penetrating ball. All have good defensive presence.
It was Tribbett, whose best accomplishment in his career was a full 90 in a playoff game for the Philadelphia Union, a season in which he played 23 MLS appearances, and Tyler Pasher's brought down Alan Wynn, and Tyler Pasher is on a yellow card. If he were to receive a second, an obvious ejection, and he'd have to sit out the next match. And Elvis Uzmanovic is going to keep all 22 players on the field for the time being. Does allow the substitution. A workmanlike shift from Carlton Belmar. It lacked a final product. It did not lack effort and distance covered. And in his place for Papa Mensah, the 2018 Nashville SC Young Player of the Year. Gary Smith says he has all the qualities to be a starting forward in this league, but he's so good off of the bench, and without Cameron Lancaster available, Smith electing not to start Ropapa just so that he'd have a little bit more of a punch or the game to come down late, and Nashville needed a goal.
That's a solid substitution late. His explosiveness is going to add another dimension to this attack. And you've seen again, Alan Wynn has now been switched back to the left side because Ropapa is right foot dominant. And so I think this late in the match, he's very comfortable on that right foot, so why not put him into this environment? Now the key is going to be, is Ropapa going to do the defensive work against Pasher?
It's a tall task.
It's a tall task, but he should be fresh.
It's Rios. Put it behind an on-rushing Mensah. Given space to explore. Wants to audition Hackshaw. Quick service in towards Rios and under the Mexican's foot. And now Watson. Hurrying into the attack again. Stalked all along by Akinyoti. Illich. Kelly. Gibson. Fitting to do for Alan Wynn. Finds himself belly down. And looks like Wynn perhaps cramping behind the play. Indy 11 not stopping the play for him, and he was, for a moment, keeping several players on side. And Wynn going to need to be stretched out again. Gary Smith looking towards his substitutes. It's the second time that Alan Wynn has needed medical assistance provided by Vanderbilt Health.
This time it's gone to both of his calves, it looks like. So I think while we have a break in the action, I think Indy's Gibson has been very underrated today. I think he's been incredibly effective. He's been the connector on the field. His quality of passing has been very good. He's worked hard defensively in a 3 versus 2 dominant shape by Nashville. And I think he's been a really, really good player for Indy today. And so, Gibson's activity in the midfield has gone a little bit unnoticed because of Nashville's goals. But Gibson has really added a lot to this Indy game today.
We saw Justin Davis being prepared, we assume, to replace Alan Wynn. There is Davis.
I think he needs a new monitor holder.
So what that is, it's not a sports bra, obviously.
I did not say that because I knew better.
I'll just say it because I know what everybody is wondering.
It is not.
It is a motion tracking. So he's got a GPS monitor right down his spine in the back, and then it also has an accelerometer right in the chest. And that's how they track the player data. And the substitution has occurred. Alan Wynn out. And because he's injured, does not have to exit between the benches. He will exit down that far side. That's a long walk for a player who has covered some ground tonight.
So now what you've seen is Washington pressed up into the bank of 4 in the midfield, and Justin Davis coming in as the left back.
This all occurring in front of the 5th largest USL crowd of this season. Tonight's Ashton Real Estate attendance, 13,047. In the future home of Major League Soccer in this city.
Again, it's a great venue.
I know it's made for the Titans, but I have to tell you, it fits perfectly for soccer. The pitch is beautiful.
Pasher's service coming in towards Kelly. Lasso was clattered into. And on the scene, Elvis Usmanovic. And continuing your points, the national bodies have known that this is an excellent soccer facility. Otherwise, they wouldn't have sent both the U.S. women's national team and the U.S. men's national team here just this year.
And the Gold Cup.
The Gold Cup had the U.S. men's national team.
Yeah, but it wasn't just for the men's national team.
You're
We
right.
happened to advance to have the opportunity to play here. But, I mean, they sent the Gold Cup semifinal match here, which is fantastic. So there's a tremendous amount of respect for Nashville as a soccer community. And I think that speaks volumes. And, you know, there's no doubt that there's a great amount of support for the USL team. But I just think it's going to continue to grow and get larger and larger as we get closer to the MLS joining. But I'd urge you right now, come watch a game. It's entertaining. You won't regret it.
Some of the teams that have played here, the Mexican national team, the U.S. men's and women's national teams, Tottenham, Manchester City. And next year, Nashville Soccer Club's maiden voyage into Major League Soccer.
Hey, if it's good enough for Harry Kane, I think it's good enough for us.
The irony is the last time that the Titans played in this stadium was against Indianapolis. Last week of the season, a loss.
I was waiting for your stat that would amaze me of the day. And there it is. You just did it. You were able to tie the two pro organizations in both towns. Well done.
Those fans seeing Nashville's first ever goal in Nissan Stadium. 2 previous 0-0 draws last year. And Nashville on the verge of a signature win. You would think if they can hold on, probably the best one in club history when you look at placement of the opponent in the table, importance, crowd, all of the factors that contribute to what could be easily titled a big game. Pasher, absolutely tireless. Nashville having to swarm him just to get the ball off his feet. Watson. Gibson, Tennessee native. Pasher. Ladled in towards Kelly. Thumped out by Ockford towards the lone striker, Daniel Rios. Pasher has gone down on the challenge from Mensah. Nashville with numbers if they hurry here.
I'm not sure Nashville wants to do anything in a hurry right now.
Reed has taken the invitation forward. Now it's Taylor Washington pondering the cross, slipped in towards Rios, forwarded towards Mensah. The entire right side of the field to work with against Neville Hackshaw. On the defensive interest of Pasher. Intrepid work from Ina Voltson to track back. 33 years old today is Ina Voltson. Apologize, 32 years old today is Ina Voltson. Don't want to give him that extra year just yet.
Don't do that.
Pasher. Another entrepreneurial run. This time it's against Kosuke Kimura. Gibson. Ayoze. Watson. In tight quarters. Justin Davis springing the opposite direction. A rare poor pass from Bolo Akinyodi. And the results are in. We've gotten tonight's Budweiser Man of the Match vote. Voted on by you, the fans. It is number 19, Alan Wynn. No doubt.
No doubt.
Had the second goal tonight. Should have very well had an assist to go with it. if not for quality saves from Evan Newton, robbing Carlton Belmar twice. I know this is not Indy's night, but look how they're pursuing the ball. Pasher and Enevoldsen, passionate, committed, dedicated players. You see why they are so hard to score against. I know Nashville did it twice tonight, but it's 88th minute. They're down 2-0, and they're chasing the ball like it's the second minute.
And their defensive work rate is just superior, and they're very organized defensively. The issue really was Nashville's 4-2-3-1 was more dangerous, and there were better pockets of dangerous spaces that they could exploit versus the Indy 3-4-3. So the chess match between the midfielders that we talked about in the pregame went to the advantage of Nashville. So thus, like we talked about in the beginning of the game, Alan Wynn scores a goal and is the man of the match.
And it's a renaissance for Wynn, a player who did not play against Indy 11 in the matchup in May. He's played less than 600 minutes out of a possible 1,700 this season. There are times where he would go multiple games without an appearance, as Nashville had shifted into a 3-5-2 formation that didn't fit his abilities. As the cross comes in towards Enevoldsen, another save by Pickens. Pasher reloads, back post, another opportunity. Off the head of Illich, reclaimed by Watson. And a late surge from Indy. Flexible defending from Akinyoti, and now Rios completely isolated against Osman. He takes it right at the Australian. Recovering is Barrett. The hold-up play is good. The crowd rises as Ropapa-Mensah bearing down on goal. Ropapa-Mensah had to power it into the corner.
Ropapa-Mensah going for glory on that strike. You know, that's what you want from an attacking player, though. You want them to have the mentality that they want to take on and get in behind. But how about the recovery run from Patty Barrett to delay that play and hold up Rios? As you've said, the whole day, such a great commitment to their defensive shape. Strong mentality by Indy.
Enevoldsen, it's a positive touch. Flag stayed down. Had Pasher been able to control that, he would have been through and onside. And the Indy 11 in danger of going without a goal in a road match for the first time this season. A team that's averaging over 2 goals a game on the road this year. Goodness, Pasher has been all over the place. A good service. Nodded away by Lasso. And further to safety by Washington. There's no doubt that Pasher, very much a candidate for USL Best 11. You see why tonight. Final product has been lacking. He's been everywhere as Justin Davis now. Try his hand at an attack. Waiting on the arrival of Rios. Takes a detour towards the corner. 4 minutes of stoppage time. Davis trying to eat a little here. And could not win a corner kick for Nashville SC for his efforts. 90 yards the other way. It's the supporters' time now at Nissan Stadium. Victory in the grasps of the team that they've supported and continue to support, and will follow into Nissan Stadium next year. Mensah.
That's a tough thing for Ropapa. He gets in, he's got fresh legs with 15 minutes left in the game. He's 1 versus 1 on the flank, could probably face up and cause an opportunity But he does the right team decision, right? The right tactical decision is to go to the corner, sit on the play, let the time tick away.
And all of his teammates who have played the majority, if not all of the game, saying, go to the corner, go to the corner.
And Ropov has got fresh legs and a desire to score goals.
Davis heading down to Pickens. Watching on is Washington. Final minute at Nissan Stadium. Oh, Pasher, so full of ideas.
Oh, and so quick.
Hackshaw. No nonsense from Tribbett. Daniel Rios is interested. And Nashville now with just seconds remaining in a comprehensive victory. Goals from Daniel Rios and Alan Wynn. It was the 13th goal of the season for Daniel Rios. He is now one away from league leader Solomon Asante. And Elvis Uzmanovic ends this one on a massive night in a top 5 battle in their major league home. Nashville SC, all 3 points against the Indy 11. Is this a season-shifting victory, Ronnie?
Well, it is certainly more of a complete game that we've seen from Nashville. You know, they preserved a shutout. They had great goalkeeping, and Matt Pickens made saves when he had to. You had a stellar defense and staunch defense that did their job defensively. You had a tireless working midfield, and then you had a productive attack. You know, you had the dangerous looks of Rios and the hold-up play of him. You had the dynamic 1v1 ability of Alan Wynn. I definitely think this is a momentum changer for Nashville.
A clean sheet for Matt Pickens, the clean sheet for Nashville SC. 2 straight games without allowing a goal. The win against Memphis, 2-0. Same scoreline tonight against the Indy 11. Daniel Rios has scored in consecutive games, one behind Golden Boot leader Solomon Asante, and Nashville SC charging its way up the table. They take this top 5 clash tonight, 2-0 at Nissan Stadium. Still much more to talk about, including stats. We'll also take a look at the highlights when we return. Nashville SC, all 3 points tonight on a gorgeous night in Music City. tremendous night for Nashville SC supporters. Tremendous night for Ken Tribbett, who makes his way back onto the pitch after a lengthy injury layoff, as Nashville SC getting the win 2-0 over Indy 11 and the clean sheet to Matt Pickens. I'm John Freeman, joined by Ronnie Woodard. Nashville SC would like to thank our corporate partners: Nissan, Vanderbilt Health, Dex Imaging, Budweiser, Puckett's, Kroger, Coca-Cola, MyTV30, and Fox 17. Let's go ahead and take a look at our save of the match. It came from that man. It was picture perfect. Our producer Travis told me, oh, well, it's going to be that incredible save from Matt Pickens. And our question back was, well, which one?
Which one?
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at our save of the game. What did our production crew choose? They had plenty of options tonight. And here is your save of the game. It was Matt Pickens denying Patty Barrett. And another stellar night between the pipes for Pickens.
Magnificent save, and he even kept it out of danger's way. Leaves a little bit of a rebound, but a purposeful rebound, enough for one of his fellow teammates to be able to clear safely. But how he got to ground that quickly was amazing.
Pickens, well over 300 appearances in his career, had faced Indy 11 12 times in his career, most of them coming while the goalkeeper for the Tampa Bay Rowdies in NASL. And he had only won 2 of those 12 games, so the 3rd victory for Matt Pickens over Indy 11 in his career. Well, what does this all mean? Nashville SC getting 3 points tonight. They inch closer towards Indy 11. This was a top 5 battle. Here is the USL Eastern Conference table after the results tonight. Ottawa failed to collect 3 points. They drew 0-0 at Memphis. Pittsburgh did get a win tonight, as did North Carolina. But just as important as Nashville inching closer to Indy tonight, the psychology of it is, if they had lost this game, Gary Smith felt like it would have been too much of a mountain to climb against such a good team like Indy. He thought they'd be accumulating points down the stretch, and if a loss tonight would have meant it would be extremely hard to catch Indy going into the postseason. A win tonight changes everything.
Well, and there are matches within your season and with the flow of the season that matter a little bit more, and tonight was that night. Getting 3 points against a solid Indy 11 team. Not only are they in front of you in the standings, but they're going to continue to win games down the stretch. And so Nashville has to take care of business, and they did just that tonight. And I really do believe that this was a pivotal moment in Nashville's success.
Nashville's next 4 games against teams outside of the top 8. Next time they'll face a top 4 team will be New York Red Bulls 2 in that rescheduled match at First Tennessee Park. Let's take a look at some other standings. It's the Golden Boot Watch. That man moved himself into 2nd place, jumping Sebastian Guenzati of Tampa Bay. 13 goals this season for Daniel Rios, 1 behind Solomon Asante, who's performing now for Phoenix in what is a scoreless game against Tulsa. So Rios, the goal tonight, now just 1 away from the Golden Boot lead with Solomon Asante, and especially impressive in how stingy the Eastern Conference is compared to the Western Conference. Rios scoring tonight against an Indy team that had the best goals against average in the entire USL.
And remember what you said at the beginning of the game. Rios was quoted saying, I only need 2 to 3 to
said
score
1 to 2.
1 to 2.
He said 1 to 2.
So there was 1 goal on 3 shots for him. That's incredibly effective in that final third. But it's because he puts himself in great goal-scoring situations. The timing of his runs into the box, his hold-up play, his dynamic movement, his technical ability. I mean, he really is just a complete player in the USL right now.
Well, it's mission accomplished tonight for Nashville SC and Nissan Stadium. They'll head back to First Tennessee Park for their next set of home games. And then they do have a late home game here against North Carolina, a team that's above them in the standings right now. That could be a massive night again at Nissan Stadium. But all smiles for Nashville SC and its supporters. Nashville claiming 3 points against the Indy 11 tonight. Want to say a big thank you to our entire crew tonight for putting on the broadcast. Our broadcast partner, Ronnie Woodard. I'm John Freeman saying so long from Nissan Stadium. Nashville SC on a crucial night in its future Major League Soccer home. 2-0 victors over Indy 11. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday night with us.